Hey friends, so I'm back with my new video, and in today's session we'll be writing a consumer for RabbitMQ in Golang. So writing a consumer we would be doing in three steps. First is copy the code as we were doing in last two sessions. Make the required changes so that it can listen from the queue where we are actually publishing the message. And third is run the code. So guys, so for the first step, in the prior videos I explained that RabbitMQ team, they have explained the whole integration so well in their website, and I would personally suggest is go read and and then try this exercise. I would say definitely it would be really helpful. And so up to this level we already done. We have sent the message also. This part is completed, and we were able to send the message of our own choice. So that is also done. Now writing a consumer, which means we'll be receiving the messages from the Rabbit. So what they are saying is that first you need to define the package. Definitely it's one of the prerequisite. Import section, if you're using VS Code or any good renowned IDE, then it automatically import the package. Otherwise you can manually put the package as well. So let me start copying the code from here. So the very first thing, which is error handling. So let me yes. So I have created a new folder and I created this go sum file, so that whatever the packages we are using, it should document it and mention in the go mod file. So I have pasted the code. Import is done. By default, it my VS actually remove all the import packages which has not been used, and definitely you will gradually see that whenever there is a package import need, it will automatically import, mention in the import section, I would say. So first part is done. Okay, second part is this. So what it actually doing, so for that first we need to write a new function. So it would be main only, and under this main function we'll be pasting this whole code. Okay, so what this code would be doing, first is it is actually creating a connection. Second line, which is line number 18, is actually defining the failure case, that in case there is a failure, what needs to be printed on the terminal. Third is defer connection close. So it is always recommended that if the connection pool connection thread is not in use, it should ideally be closed, because if you want to utilize the hardware effectively, then it is always recommended that to have a very minimal number of idle connection. And then create a channel, again build a connection. So this will be helping, this particular code will be helping on those lines. This is the error handling, again defer for channel closure. This is where I'll be defining the queue details. So if you see in my previous video, we were using this particular queue to publish the message. So I just copied from here, and instead of hello, I pasted my queue name, from where we actually have to read. Currently it is showing error because this variable is defined but it has not been used. So again move back to the home page. So this is the last piece of code which we need to paste. Now what this code is doing is, this is again a failure error handling. This particular piece of code would actually be helping to connect with the queue, and will be consuming the messages. So you can say it's a kind of consumer configuration. Okay, and this is the error handling. This is actually making a connection pool, right? And then this code is actually kind of creating a loop that it will be continuously reading the messages from the queue. So say for example, if the number of messages in the queue is 100, then what this particular code would be doing is, for this the range would be 100, and it will be creating loop for 100 times. So this is how the whole code would run, and this particular would be printing the on the terminal that waiting for the message. In case you want to exit, you can type Control C, and this is actually kind of a function which will keep on rotating the same code again and again and again, so that if there is any message in the queue, it will read it. If not, then after a certain duration it will keep on polling and reading. So we have made the changes and this looks good to me. There is no error. It has automatically added the package in the import section. Now let's execute the code. So we are in correct directory. So go. So this command is actually helped to build the whole package. So it has successfully built the executable file. Now let's run. Okay. So now it is actually giving a timestamp and waiting for the messages. To exit, press Ctrl C. Now let me open one more terminal. And I'm in training section. Let's go to 4 to CD forward. So I'm actually moving in the directory where we have actually write a code to publish the message. So we'll publish the message and we'll see that whether we are getting the message in the, my consumer is able to read the message or not. So let me enlarge this. Go. So I have executed the code. C. So here my publisher published the message, and here my consumer actually consumed the message from the queue. So now if I go to the dashboard, we'll be able to see that, okay, this is the connection which I actually have created, and it's running. This is the channel connection, which is again my consumer has actually created. This is not needed because we have not used Exchange anywhere. On the queue side, if you see, this is the queue we have where we are actually publishing the message and consuming it. So let's go inside and see details. Okay, see here under the queue section, it is showing that there is a consumer on this queue which is reading the messages, and current state is active, and currently there are no messages. So let's try this again, and yes. So now guys, if we see, we have covered the whole integration in 4 videos. In first, we call the REST API. We actually taken the help of Golang, Postman, to generate the code for calling REST API. In second stage, we actually written the code for publisher. In third stage or third video, we actually done the integration between 2 functions. That is, in first function, whatever the payload we are getting, we are passing on to publisher so that it can publish in the RabbitMQ. And this is the fourth, I would say, session where we actually written a consumer and it is actually consuming the code from the queue. In my subsequent video, I'll be writing a code to actually store this whole payload which we got from the queue in the database. So I'll be covering for two databases. One would be for the Mongo for non-SQL people. Second database which I'll be covering would be MySQL, because nowadays for all the companies generally mostly use the open source databases, and MySQL is amongst them. And for third, caching nowadays to cater the TPS, a lot of companies using the caching based database. So Redis is one of the very good example. It is a caching based database which can serve a high TPS. So I'll be covering these three databases. And please, again, if you feel that I should cover some of the topic where you are stuck, or which you feel that you are not getting sufficient information from the Google or from or any of the website, then please comment. Please write in the comment section so that I can cover those topics in my subsequent video. Thank you.